What's going on, Bears fans? What is happening out there today? Hope everything is well with you. Welcome back to another episode of BearsMediaCo. I am your host, Brent C. And Bears fans, check it out. It is Combine Week. Right now, we have over 3 participants about ready to take the field for the next 4 days. And I'm telling you, it is exciting times, especially for us Chicago Bears fans. Now, Ryan Poles, our main guy, has said that he is looking to get to know players, getting ready to continue the build of this team. And let me tell you something, Bears fans, I believe him, and you should too. And one of the first things that he's going to get to look at, even though he's had a few interviews, he will get to see the defensive line and linebackers coming up on Thursday. They will be testing themselves and different things like the 40s, the shuttle, and things of that nature. And specifically, especially for the defensive line, their bench press. Now, why is the bench press important for defensive linemen? Because, hey, they are going to be ones that are doing all the pushing to get to the quarterback. And they have to hold the line when it comes down to the run game. So their job is extremely important, and you got to get to the quarterback. And we all know to be successful, you've got to have a defense, especially our Chicago Bears, whose new defensive coordinator just said we will have the best pass rush in the league. So by that standard, Bears fans, that means defensive ends are going to be a priority, and the 3 technique that Matt Eberflus has been looking for should be on the list of things Ryan Poles brings in as far as talent on that defensive side. Now, starting things off, my number 3 technique that we should be looking at is Braden Fisk out of Florida State. Now, this guy is a true wrecker when it comes to getting after it, whether it be the run game or the quarterback. He played extremely well at Florida State this past year, and when paired with Jared Verse, the defensive end extraordinaire, he has looked especially stout. Now, what do we know about him? Well, 4 sacks on the year and about 42 tackles. So listen, he knows how to get to the football when it's necessary. Now at the Senior Bowl, where I saw him, he looked exceptional. Getting through the line, getting to the quarterback, stopping the run, and otherwise just creating havoc on the offensive line. So that guy right there, my number 3 technique, even though he is not projected to be nowhere near the top of the class, he's actually thought to be a 4th rounder. So it's definitely going to be an interesting pick for him. And hopefully, if we get there without a 3 tech, we'll be able to go ahead and just slot him on in right next to who? I don't know. Who will be the other defensive end for our Chicago Bears? Because he could line up next to Sweat, but I think he'll be next to whomever plays on the opposite side. And of course, we still have free agency to go. So Ryan Poles, he is going to have a good year for us. And I should say a good offseason. And therefore, we all should be extremely happy at what he continues to do. Now, second up, one of the guys that hopefully you all have had an opportunity to see. I mean, I've watched him, as you know, as a University of Illinois fan. I have seen him play for the last 2 years, and that guy is Jerzon Newton. Now, Mr. Newton is 6'2", 295 pounds. Hasn't measured in yet at the combine, but hopefully soon we'll get that for you. And if he measures in close to what he has at the University of Illinois, things could be exciting. Now, he is projected to be a 1st round pick, and that I don't know if the Bears will be able to do. simply because we have the number 1 and the number 9, and I don't think he's worth a top 10 pick at this point, but definitely from anywhere between that teen to 20 range, he would be definitely one guy that I would keep an eye on. So, what has he done this year? Well, I should say this past year. Now in 2020, Jerzon Newton, he had 26 total tackles, as well as, well, I'm sorry, not 26 total, but 26 solo tackles and 7.5 sacks. And if you look at the 3 technique, someone who can get to the quarterback, there you are. Jerzon Newton gets to the quarterback. And he is right here in, well, not right here, but he is in the backyard of the Chicago Bears, and they should know all about this guy. Now, whether or not we're looking deep at that 3 technique for this year's draft, even though since Ryan Poles has got there, he has only tried to get a true 3 technique once, and that was Justin Jones. Justin Jones, like I say, 4 sacks last year. It was okay, but a lot of that came after Sweat arrived to the team. So getting a true 3 technique might be the way to go for Matt Eberflus, and hopefully Ryan Poles rewards him this year with that 3 technique. Now, you look at the other DTs we have on the roster, like Billings, Dexter, as well as Mr. Dexter. I tell you, Bears fans, when Eric Washington said that he wants the best pass rush, we already have some guys that can do it. The main question is, how can he do it knowing we need a defensive end as a great complement to Sweat? Now we got the DTs. Adding a true 3 technique may be the way to go, but that defensive end, in my eyes, is more important. And it just so happens that this year's draft has one guy that your boy right here truly, truly likes. I ain't gonna say love, but it's close. I can say that. Now, Darius Robinson from the University of Missouri, he is that guy. A 6'5", 286 pounder. He can play any of the 4 positions on the NFL. On the Bears defensive line. He is that good. Like I said, he can play that 3 technique. He can play the 5 tech. He can play either side with the defensive end, and it would be a great compliment to Montez Sweat. So hey, that guy right there, my number 1 defensive end. Well, I shouldn't say that. My number 2 defensive end behind Jared Verse. Now, some will say Jared Verse, well, he played all right, but his numbers were down from the previous year. And I agree. But you also have to look at it as the Florida State Seminoles had him standing up, playing a different role this past year. And he looked out of sorts, of course, standing up, trying to rush, trying to fall back into coverage. Never a good idea for a 6'4", 260-pound guy, more known for getting after the quarterback. So, even though Jared Verse, like I said, my number 1 guy, I don't think we're going to be able to get him. Like I say, with 2 first-round draft picks, wide receiver, as well as maybe defensive lineman should be going first. And as I said, maybe we look at a left tackle, but if for me, right at this moment, looking at a center is definitely a need. So trading back, hopefully, from that number 1 position and getting more draft picks will be the thing to do. And hopefully, being able to get a top-notch wide receiver at number 9 or wherever before that is possible, considering the trade and who the team that we trade with. I would think that, you know me, Jackson Powell Johnson, that guy right there at this time is my number 1 center. That guy right there would solidify our offensive line in the middle for a very long time. I mean, 6'3", 333 pounds. Where he weighed in at the Senior Bowl, he is massive. I mean, massive for a center. But he has positional value because he's also played left guard. So we cannot lose by getting Jackson Powers Johnson. JPJ, hey, we got to have him, Bears fans. But right after him, I would say Darius Robinson is probably the more likely scenario at defensive end for us. So right now, Darius Robinson, simply because I think we can get him, he probably is our number one target for defensive end. And like I said, he has positional value by being able to play any spot on our defensive line. So that looks very good to me. So what am I saying to you, Bears fans? Trade that darn number one pick and trade down a little bit. Maybe with the Patriots, I'm thinking, that number 3 spot. Go ahead, get Marvin Harrison Jr. Then at that number 9 spot, go ahead, trade back just a little bit more. Get Jackson Powers Johnson. And then in that second round, with whatever pick we get, I believe New England has the number 34 pick. Use that pick to get Darius Robinson. And ladies and gentlemen, we are cooking with grease on that one. Definitely. Now, Bears fans, my number 2 defensive end going into this draft, Brandon Dorless out of the Oregon Ducks. Now, this guy right here measured in at 6'3", 272 pounds at the Senior Bowl. And let me tell you something, Bears fans. Just like Darius, he can play any of the 4 spots on our defensive line. Only problem is with, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but with only 14 solo tackles, but 5 sacks, he's not much of a pass rush. But when it comes to stopping the run and putting pressure on a quarterback, he is the man. Because there's multiple times this season that I watched Oregon, and he was busting through the line and giving chase to the quarterback. Now, what are his negatives? He can't seriously get to the quarterback. Like I said, only 5 sacks, not very good. But he is a run stopper. And even though he doesn't quite have the measurables that, I think Matt Eberflus is looking for, someone over 6'4", somewhere right around that 6'5", 6'6" range, plus about 290 or so. I mean, hey, he doesn't get there on those measurables, but his instincts are pretty darn good. And like I say, as a run stuffer, he is exceptional. So 2 guys on the defensive end that I think the Bears should look at, especially Darius Robinson. That's my guy. And then, like I say, as far as the 3 technique, Braden Fisk or Jerzon Newton, 2 guys I think will fit the bill if the Bears can get them. Now, like I say, it all depends on how the draft turns out, as far as whether we're trading picks or we're adding picks. It just depends, Bears fans. So let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Defensive tackle. You got any good ones out there for me? And then defensive ends. Maybe I missed somebody that you like. Just let me know. Put it down in the comments. And I tell you what, Reggie B, he's going to give you something real quick. Hit it, Reggie B.
Hello, fellow Bears superfans. While we wait for success on the field, we can show our pride off the field with official Chicago Bears gear from Fanatics. Fanatics has everything to reflect your passion. Jerseys, hats, shirts, collectibles, and more. Rep your Bears fandom in style while supporting us here at BearsMediaCo. Show your Bear spirit by clicking our affiliate link in the description or on our website and buying something nice at fanatics.com today.
So all right, Bears fans, there you go. Thursday, first day of the NFL Combine, and I can't wait to watch, and I hope you get the chance. NFL Network, they will be playing it. So if you got it, give it a watch, and then we'll get back with you. And as always, this is your boy Brent C, and I'm telling you, peace.